What's up, party people? This is Nina Perez, and this is Straight Talk, no sugar added, and I am so glad you're here. So we are here to discuss life topics to grow, challenge, and transform your thinking. And as you guys know, I'm just searching around the planet trying to find all these great people, and I have found a couple for you. And I have today Mio Sotis Santiago and Kimberly Bell. And so Mio Sotis is the founder of Exemplify to Edify LLC, and it's a women's inspirational organization that focuses on healing and a faith-driven walk with purpose. All right, we're going to go there. We're going to go there today. She is an inspirational speaker, domestic violence advocate, and Amazon bestselling author of her book, God's Diamond, of her memoir, God's Diamond. There we go. Speak English, Nina. All right. And then I have Kimberly Ann Bell, and she is an inspirational speaker, a minister, a mentor, and the author of the Epitome. Okay, I can't speak English today, ladies. Epitome of Kimmy, accept and embrace it all. And she is originally from Salisbury, Maryland, and now holds 2 degrees, one in human growth and development and psychology, and the other in theology. And I really, really am so happy they're here. I've had them on my show before. And the reason that I have these ladies here is because they are powerhouses. And as you guys know, I love to talk to people that are going to tantalize your brain, make you think about things differently, but also challenge you to kind of transform your thinking and move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and start right here on my other side. Oh, on this side. Mio, how are you? Let's start with you, Mio Sotis. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So like you mentioned, I'm the founder of Exemplify to Edify. It was founded in 2019. I'm going on my 3rd year in business. Still fresh, still a baby, learning new things. But my focus and my mission is to empower and inspire hope in broken women like myself, like I was, and just to give them the hope that they need through my story and through my experiences to continue persevering and pushing through and just continuing to seek their purpose. So that's the mission that I'm on, is to tap into yourself, into your genuine self, and learn who you are. Do not allow your flaws and what life has done to you to stop you in your walk with Christ. And I'm on a mission just to spread the word and just empower and inspire and help heal this broken world in women and teens.
That's awesome. And I'm a little jealous of your chair. Just want to say that right now. Just want to throw that out there. But but I love that. So then your ministry, or I want to call it a ministry, but your business is almost like a ministry, right? I mean, it sounds to me like it's really Christ-centered. So it's really about faith as well, right? And that's mainly what you focus on?
Yes, it's a faith-based ministry. I am a woman of God, and I am also on a mission to spread the word and follow, the commandments, to go out and make disciples, and just to minister to the broken, like Jesus did.
Right,
he went out into the streets. He went out into the communities. He dealt with broken people, and he revived them, and he gave them hope, and he brought them back to him. So that's the mission that I'm on, because there's so many broken people out in the world that need hope. They need inspiration. We're losing our youth. We're losing our men and women. So much violence, lack of empathy. The enemy is real. He's rampant right now.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's an awesome mission to have, and a hard one as well. So welcome to Straight Talk. I'm glad you're here. I'm really glad you're here. Yeah. Kimberly. Hey. Kimberly Bell. How are you? Now, me and Kimberly.
I'm doing great.
I'm so glad. So guys, just so that you know, there's a little bit of a lag where Kimberly is right now. So we're going to give her a second to reply to things that I say. But I'll tell you, Kimberly was on my show, such a powerhouse, and she's been through so much. And so Kimberly, I wanted you to just tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing and how you're impacting the world.
Well, I have 4 adult children. I got to start with that. 4 adult children, 1 minor. So I'm just loving the diversity that I mother and adult children. And then I have the little minor that's going on 70. No, she really going on 7. but they are just my, full support system. And it's just such an excellent season of my life. I've been in case management for over well 10 years now, and I just love what I do. Um, as Mia was saying, I just love inspiring. And the book that I had on my bucket list since 2015, and I remember having the date of 2017, but when COVID hit, I actually went on and wrote the memoir and published it then that year. So it was just like just getting scratching off the bucket list, but being courageous enough to understand that, like Neo said, we all have a purpose-filled driven life for God to do, and that it had to take me to have some courage. And then along of me having this courage, I found this accept and embrace it all. And I have to live that. I live that. I live what I talk about. I spread my truth. I'm very transparent. And I just want to inspire us as women that is needed in this day for us to endure, for us to go through this journey in life, because it's not easy and it's not to go alone. No, you can't take everyone with you, but yet we are here together. We are here together to inspire each other. And so, yes, Nina, I have been through a lot, but I am determined to inspire and let other people know I'm not going to be the only one to break generational curses. I do it every day, but I also know that there's millions others that need to do the same thing.
Amen.
Yeah.
And you know what? I love that you said we don't do it alone either. You know, one thing I've been trying to do with Straight Talk and everything is to have people really transform their thinking about this competitive thing. I think that women should be supporting women. I think we should be lifting each other up. I think we should be pushing each other forward, right? And so I don't believe that I'm in competition with anybody but myself. You know, I feel like in the beginning, you're kind of like trying to find yourself and your footing and trying to find who you are in this social media world, because let's be real, that's where we are now, right? I want to connect with people on a more live basis, but for the most part, the people that I speak to are in Australia, in Europe, they're everywhere. Thank goodness for the internet. Right. But here's the thing. I'm not in competition with that next coach. I'm not in competition with that next podcaster. I'm only in competition with me. Right. And so I know what God has put in me. I'm trying to discover even more of it. And the fun part of all of this is how much God can use you, mold you, and send you off to impact somebody else's life in a big way.
Amen.
Every single one of us has an amazing story, an amazing story. It's not the same, but it's amazing in itself, right? And to be able to take that woman from 20 years ago and impact her now with who we are today, right? And the whole goal is now to have the woman 5 years from now be proud of the decisions we make today.
Amen.
Right? So that's the reason why I wanted to have this conversation with you ladies, because I know that the reason that these two women are on this show, guys, is because they keep it real. They tell you how it is. They're not going to sugarcoat it for you. And they are also going to do it in love. See, you don't have to sugarcoat something to do it in love, right? Sometimes just saying things the way they need to be said is love, right? You know, like I think that people have a misconception that Jesus was this like fluffy sugarcoating kind of guy. But if you read the word, he wasn't sugarcoating nothing, right? He was just telling you the truth. And sometimes it brushed you the wrong way, but you knew that it was going to also give you this clarity in life, right? And so the reason we decided to do this live today is because Mia Sotis in her heart has this vision of doing these amazing events where she can gather women together. And so I want you to touch on that, Mio, because I know that I introduced you to Kimberly, because I know Kimberly, when I was speaking to her on my podcast, had a big impact on me. I really adore her. I think she's an amazing woman. And so, Mio, tell us about this women's event and what it is that you're trying to bring forward with all of this.
So I haven't hosted an event in the last 2 years because of the loss of my dad, and you know, I had conservatorship of him before, so it was a lot focusing on my business. But I can tell you that during COVID and being conservative of my father, and then having him like pass in my arms, it's been such a humbling, revealing, experience on how short life is. God,
Mm-hmm.
God showed me from the moment my father stepped into my house to the process to the day he died. It was 3 years. I thought I had a lifetime with him. I made plans to be with him till he was 80, 90 years old. And in 3 years, and in a matter of a month and a half, with after diagnosis, he died. So now it's developed. I've developed a passion in me even more now to host women's um, groups and these events and also to just tell them to leave the world outside the door. Don't come in here with that worldly stuff.
Mm.
Leave the world outside and come into these doors. The you that's still yearning for something, the broken you that's still holding on to unforgiveness from 10 years ago, the
Mm-hmm.
you that's been masking your pain and smiling and putting on this show for far too long. Leave that behind and come into this event and get poured into. We cannot use ourselves fully if we're not in alignment with our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We can
Mm-hmm.
be, you have to be aligned. Like it has to be in alignment. And if you're still going here and trying to do this and trying to do that and what you want to do and keep up with the world, like you said, and look like this and do that and be like that, you're never going to find your true purpose because your focus is on everywhere. It's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Mm-hmm.
now more than ever, I've realized that we don't have much time. I don't have much time. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to just pour into these women, um, show them the shit to just ground themselves in Christ and the Word. And you know, some people might not believe in Christ, but or whatever God. It's at the end of the day the higher power. It's the same being that created us. We
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
think of it differently. Um, but we don't, I just also want to let women know we don't have time. We don't have time to waste on all this worldly stuff that's just going to perish.
Right.
We have to
Right.
focus on people, on souls. Souls are being lost, souls are dying. We're losing our youth. Our future generations are looking very, very dim in my eyes. We're looking into a future of a very dark place. And I'm worried for my grandchildren. I'm worried for me growing as a senior citizen. I look at videos of senior citizens getting beat up by these younger kids. Like, what world are we entering? Well, I'm also focusing on my health and wellness. People don't know that we're literally, if you haven't seen the show, I'm having a Facebook Live. It's called Eating Your Way. We're eating our way into extinction. The way that we eat, we're dying. There's underlying health issues, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, because of the way that we eat. We're out of control. This
Mm-hmm.
world is out of control. And I can only do so much. My focus is on the women and the teen girls so we can have a better generation of women with a different mindset. To stop focusing on what the world is throwing on you and what beauty is and focus on the beauty within. So you've already been born with the purpose that God gave you. You don't have to go look for it, to go
Mm-hmm.
find it, study it, look within. Just tap into to what's within, and you will find it. And that's the event that I'm hosting August 13th here in Groton. I'll be forwarding you the flyers, and of course, I have these Nina and Kimberly are my special guests because I want to be with people also who are in alignment with the vision that I have.
Right.
And that's my event that I'm having in August. I'm taking this very seriously because we don't have time to waste. We don't.
Well, that you said a lot there, and one of the things that I'm going to have Kimberly chime in here a little bit because I want Kimberly to also share,
Mhm.
how she is connected with what you're saying and what she thinks about it. Right? I think Mia, also I want to give you a little light at this darkness tunnel because the truth is there is always darkness, right? There always has been, but there's also light. Right. There's
Yeah.
people like you, there's people like Ken, there's people like me, there's people that are out there that are really trying to impact this new generation. And there is some new generation out there that are waking up too to all the lies, the
Nina,
media, the social media, all of that. Yes, Kim.
internet.
I don't know if she could hear me. Kimberly, I want you to chime in if you can. I don't know if you're able to, but if you can you chime in to what Mio said? Did you hear what she said? I want to see if you can, Because I know your internet is not that great.
Hotel.
Oh, I don't think she could hear me. Okay. All right. Well, while Kimberly gets her stuff together there with her Wi-Fi, poor thing, she's like frustrated with this Wi-Fi. You know what, Mio, there are some things that are really dark. You are 100% right on that. And some of the stuff scares me too. I look at it and I'm like, what is happening? But we have a God that knows all things, right? And controls all things and allows things. And so he knows exactly. Oh, there you go. He knows exactly what he's doing. Oh, there you go, Kimberly. I was saying, did you get to hear all that Mio said about her event and what she's doing? Did you get to hear that?
Yeah, yes, I did.
I would like you to chime in and let us know what it is you think about what Mio said, and what is it that you want to bring also to the table when we do this event with Mio.
I was listening to Mio, and yes, as she was saying, it is a time for us. It is really a time. But one thing I want to interject is we have to choose. We as ladies have to choose. And it wasn't until I got my mentality of choosing and accepting, choosing for me and saying, I have a choice. I have a choice of what type of life I want to live. Do I want to live a life of these springs up? And she said is that we're going to bring to leave that selfish mentality, leave that I know everything mentality, leave that this is a competition. As long as I win. No, when you win, we all win. If I win, we all win. We really have to get to ourselves to as I was saying before, I give the biggest gift to myself each morning, and that is to choose me. Well, how can I be better? How can I find any more love or self-worth inside of me? I already have explored and invested in myself to know my characteristics, to know my personality for whoever comes into my life. I want to attract love, the right love, not the the selfish love, not the love that is abusive, not that type of not that type of treatment, because we're as women are not worth that, finding ourselves. We have to choose those things in our life to have, and work on ourselves, not work on our and one thing I remember, one of a group session that I was in was saying, when we have friends or when we have people that's our inner circle, in our
Oh, she's on a roll and she froze.
not be always the yes person. Yeah.
Right.
Not always the yes person. Honor, but I also need that compassion, but I also don't want to agree with me. If I'm going astray, I need to know that if that was a selfish move, or that, and we as women, sometimes we have to look into ourselves and understand, is there things within us that no one can tell us, that we feel we got this all together, but we want to live in this type of facade. We want to live in this type of broken mentality, this hurt, as Mio was saying, this hidden underlying unforgiveness. And I had to choose all of that for myself. I had never had an unforgiveness, but I felt like, and I had to come true to my feelings, that I lived in this being responsible for everything that happened to me. And it was a weight, it burdened me down, that I couldn't set myself free. I found myself running. I found myself hiding. I found myself searching for love in all the wrong places, except for drugs and alcohol. And that was not because of me. That was because of Christ. Because I sure enough could have went that way. But what I went into just overcompensating being a mother. I went into driving the working mode, that as long as I stayed busy, I couldn't feel the numbness. I couldn't feel the hurt. When I crashed, I was all the pieces. My kids knew when I finally got down, and had to go down to sleep. I didn't know what to do with myself. So all these need to be confronted, and all this needs to be transparent and real. It's not that me saying, oh, and people saying, well, you're at this certain age, you should have got over it, or you still think like that. No, we as women are supposed to come together and say, girl, I know, I live that type of life, and get
Yes.
and then, like I said earlier, choose better, because we can. I'm going through a season waiting. I'm waiting. I had 4 marriages that did not work, and I'm still living in my hometown, and trust and believe, there's jokes like, oh, you were a baby when you had a baby. Yeah, I was 15. And there's jokes like, you were married when you was a child. Yeah, I wasn't even 18. But my thing is, it doesn't hurt. It's a freedom, because I want to inspire someone to say, okay, she's transparent enough to know that it didn't break her. She learned from these things. Now she's at the age that she's waiting. Is the waiting not painful, or do I not go through? Yeah, I go through. Like Mio was saying, I lost my earthly mother, my adopted mother. That's all I had back in my hometown that I knew was connected to me, that wanted to be connected to me. But I had my sisters, I had people, and people don't not look like you. And this is what we as women got to understand. It's not about what we want. Like Mio said, it's about what God wants. It might not, these females might not look like you, and they might not talk like you, and they might not even have a background like you. But if that's what God purposely put into your life to carry you to that next level, to help you go through that journey, we have to learn to accept that, because it's things that we need to have as women brought out of us.
Yes.
Right.
I know that I need that connection. I don't want to go into a 5th marriage and I'm not going to go into a 5th marriage that is that don't work. I am going into it with a different a different mindset, a different choice, a choice to first have learned to love me, and have someone to love me like I love myself.
Yes.
So it's just like Mio said, it's just the perfect time. We're in the season. I am just loving it. And I just want to encourage, the listeners and the ladies, that it is time for us to accept and embrace it all. And we can do it. Just choose you.
Yes.
I choose my kids for years, and I can't choose them anymore. Each morning, I love all of them to death. But if I don't choose me, they can't have the best of the mother that I am now.
Yeah.
If I don't choose me, right?
Yeah. That's good. That's so good. And, both of you ladies are just speaking facts. And the truth is, I think the first part of our life, we're trying to figure out what life is. And then there's a part of our life, like in those teens to like 30s, where we're just surviving. We're literally just surviving. We're working 3 jobs. We're trying to take care of our kids. We're trying to do all of that. And, it's the survival mode mentality. And then, like Mio said, she's at her life right now where time is running out. And that's what happens. I think we get a little older and we start to say, okay, I done had all these experiences. I've learned from all these experiences. Now people listen up, because I got something to say. Right.
Yes.
And that's where I want to like bring this forward, because I feel like, women need to realize, I mean, men too, but women need to realize that your experiences can speak into the lives of many people. Stop thinking that your experiences are not worth anything, or that it's only you, or that you can't do nothing with it. That is BS. There is always somebody out there that is going through something that you've either already gone through or are currently going through right now. I always say that the woman I'm creating today was the woman I wish I had 20 years ago. Okay. So when somebody's listening to me 20 years, like they're 20 years old or whatever, 30 years old, and they're going through something right now, it's because I done been there, done that, so I used to think that, who wants to listen to me anyway? And why is that important? And people know that already. And I realized, you know what, that syndrome, that imposter syndrome, where you don't think you're good enough, is a liar. That is a liar. And so I know that we all have something we bring to the table. There is nothing that you have, like in full, and like your map on your view of life and the way you come at life is completely different than everybody else. That's what makes you you. Now, will
Mhm.
you find people
Different.
with common
Exactly.
ground? You'll find people with common ground, but nobody will be like you. There's
Right.
just not another one.
Right.
There wasn't another one created before. There's not another one coming after. Now, there's somebody that maybe resembles you, maybe has some of the processes you have, but they will never come at it 100% like you. There is only one you, only one. Try to go ahead and find me another one, because
Only one.
even twins and triplets aren't identical in everything that they see and view in
Yep.
life.
Right.
Right. And so I love that you guys are pouring into other people in this way. Like, you're really trying to show people, love you, love God first, love you because he created you, and
Yes.
God don't make junk. Right. And then take that love and love
Right.
on others. Love
Yes.
on others. And, I'm telling you,
Yes.
all of you who are
Yes.
listening, that every time you love on someone else, it fills you.
Mm.
Right. So if you're feeling empty and you're feeling like you can't, and you're feeling like you don't got nothing, love on someone else. It will come back to you. You will start to be full.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Do you
Yes.
guys agree with that?
I love that, Nina, because I was while you were saying that last thing, I was thinking about this new job that I got on, and I was visualizing and I was thinking about my life, and I'm a picture person. I love taking pictures, and I remember looking at my memories of last of like 12 years ago, 10 years ago on Facebook, and I said, I'm in the mind frame of I remember looking at those and visualizing me existing. I know the feeling, and I know listeners know that too, that you're just existing. Well, now we can choose, and I choose. And even when I go out, in this new job, I want them to see through me and let them to know it's okay to choose to thrive. We just don't want to exist. We want to
Yeah.
thrive. We want to be the,
Mm-hmm.
we want to pour out life. But if we don't embrace
Yep.
ourselves, what we are, and life within us, and how we want to choose our life, how can we give life to others? So
Come on.
Right.
it's very imperative, like Mia said with her conference, of leaving all that junk and coming in to getting poured in. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that's what I've learned now that I'm hitting 50, and um I've poured so much into everyone my entire life. Now is when I'm just learning how to pour into myself,
Yeah.
and
It's
I
never too late. It's never too late.
I absolutely love it. I don't think it's selfish. Before I thought it was,
Yes,
and
me
I
too.
realized that,
Yeah.
how can I pour into my children, my family, my husband, if I don't got the right state of mind, if my heart's not in the right place, if
Right.
I'm not
yes,
self-developing and learning and just pouring into myself so I can share it with them. Like, this is what I learned that I had to do for myself, and I'm embracing the moment. And like she said, the other day I posted a picture of my grandmother, and literally there's some days that I close my eyes and I bring myself back to the 70s and the
Right.
80s with my cousins and my friends, and we're playing hopscotch in the street and double dutch. And this smile just comes over me, and the memories of me in my grandmother's kitchen and she's cooking for us. Those memories bring my heart so much joy, and it literally brings me back to where I went through, to what I'm at today. And I totally just pat myself on the back and say, you know what? You did it, Mia. You didn't give up, because I went through so much. And a lot of people, they think that just because I'm this woman of God and I praise God and everyone knows Jesus is my rock, my family, my husband, my friends, everything, but they don't know the woman that they see right now is Jesus. Because what I've been through in my past, I could have either committed suicide several times, I could have been on drugs, I could have been a woman out there messing around. I was a single mother raising 3 kids, having 3 and 4 jobs, never been on state assistance, never was on food stamp, none of that. Not to say that that's not okay, but that's just where I was. I pushed myself so hard to not ask anyone for anything that I drove myself to work 80 hours a week and missed out on my daughter's almost whole lives. They raised themselves as teenagers.
Right. Right.
And people now, your daughters are doing so amazing. You raised them so well. I raised them how to take care of themselves because mommy wasn't there. Mommy had to provide.
Right.
So they're very independent because they had no choice. But at the same time, now they're 30,
being
29, 25, and they
Right.
tell me, "Mommy, all we wanted was you," and that hurts me. That's time that
Yeah,
I
my
can't.
kids tell me that too. Yeah, that does hurt. Hmm.
So I just want these women to understand too is that you can pour into yourself, but don't give so much of yourself to everybody else. Your company, the way you work, your friendships. Keep it to. You have to separate yourself because I feel like an octopus sometimes. I'm all over the place and I'm exhausted, and I have to lay all my hands off of everyone, even my children, even my husband sometimes. And I just to tell everybody, all of y'all got to figure this out because I'm not in the right state of mind. I need to come back and regroup, and I need to feel good in my spirit because when my spirit and my soul is tired and weary, that's what you're gonna get.
Right.
That's what
So
you're gonna get.
so let me ask you ladies something. For those of you who are listening, by the way, if you guys want to make comments, I can see your comments and I can try to post them if they come through. So please go ahead and comment on anything that you hear, or you have a question for either one of these ladies. More than happy to pop that up. So go ahead and please do that. So and if you're watching a replay, just put hashtag replay. And if you have a question, we will see it because I will tag them onto the video. So make sure you do that as well. Talk to me a little bit about we'll start with you, Mio, and then we'll go to Kim. What is a strategy that you use, right, for your mental health? Like you said, if like Mio, you just pointed out that if you're tired and weary, that's what they're gonna get, right? So what do you do? What is something that you cannot not do if you want to be completely present for the women that you're pouring into, your family, all of that? What is a mental health tip for you?
You know what my mental health tip is? Every morning I wake up, I say my prayers, I talk to God, and I just say, Lord, give me the strength for another day. Before I make any decisions anymore, before I go out and decide to make decisions on my own, and I think I should be doing this and I think I should be doing that, I remove myself completely every single day. Because every day we're living in our flesh. And
Yeah.
every day I surrender myself. I surrender myself every single day, to my thinking, to my thoughts, to the way my heart is sometimes. And I literally have to walk this walk knowing that I'm not in control of anything. So that way I don't have all this pressure on myself to try to be in control of anything because I'm not. And I've let go of all of that. So once I released myself from being in control of any situation, even my household, my marriage, my children, anything, I allow God to just guide me on a daily, and I've let go of those expectations of myself, even from people. I don't expect all of that from people anymore because we're all living by grace and mercy, and we're all sinners and we all make mistakes. And I just removed myself. I'm basically how they say I'm no longer part of this world. I'm in the spiritual world. I try to keep myself living in the spiritual world and removing myself on a daily from living in my flesh and just living in love for everything and everybody. And that's what keeps me grounded. And my mental health, I'm not stressed out. I'm not worrying about the bills because God's going to provide. I don't worry about my children because God's going to protect them. I don't worry about my grandchildren. And at the end of the day, God's will be done. So all of those expectations of people, of the world, and everything like that, I just live my day to day, just surrendering my flesh. That's all I do every single day.
That's a great answer. How about you, Kimberly? What do you do to get to keep your mental health in the right place?
Well, yeah, I'm like Neo. The first thing I do is I put God first. I put God first. I work on our connection every day because that's in any relationship. You want results in any relationship, you work on it. It's a work. You can't have anything if you don't talk or you don't meditate or you don't commune. So I talk to God. I meditate. That is my first connection. I trust and depend on Him every day on as Mia was saying, my expectations of people, and that was because of my past and my background of being abandoned by both of the parents that I knew, my mother, my biological father, and my biological mother. So I had this residue, or this hurt that was really deep about expectations of people, and
Yeah.
and disappointments, and unfairness. And so I learned how to depend on him, because, as Mio said, you can't, we're living all in this world. We're all human. People aren't perfect,
Right.
and
Right.
if you can't be able to take disappointment, you're going to set you up for failure. So I depend on him, and what I've learned, even with that healing process, is being accountable for my actions and my behaviors, letting him in, so that he is guiding me with my actions and my behavior, so that I can withstand, and I can go through these trials and tribulations and these tests in life that will come. Now, I will say, when my mother passed away in April, my adopted mother, about in May, I reached out to my mental health therapist. I have one, and her and I had a couple of sessions. I do that. I pour myself into music. I love all types of music. Every day, I'm listening to my Amazon music. I'm feeding my spirit. And then the last one I want to share, because I think this is very important, and it may apply to some people and may not apply to some people, but for me, this applies, is that I learn, and I constantly am in tune, try to be in tune and protect my spirit. So what I mean by that is who I'm connected with, where I go. I'm more keen to it, like I am my physical body. One time I got it about my physical body, of protecting. Now I protect my spirit as well. So I watch, who I engage conversation with. And if I feel in my spirit that it's going negative, it's going left, it's going to degress, I cut it off. I don't I don't have people bringing me he saying she said. I don't talk about people. I don't gossip. You can't come to me. I have enough to deal with my own self, getting myself and loving my family as adult children, and my minor, and where I need to go in life. So I watch that, and I work on that every day about my encounters. And now some encounters, especially at work, like I said, I got to go back to the first, and that foundation is God. I ask for his strength. I ask for his help and his guidance. So that being said, this is how I have to set myself up for, my coping skills. And then I also am mindful of, not that I'm trying to bring that back in remembrance, but understanding that will never be forgotten of what didn't work. What will always stay and play in my mind is that, okay, those things before didn't work, so we're not going to do that again, Kim. Not going to do that again. And that was when the last piece of, I would get isolate myself. I would get into my way, and I would isolate myself. Now I'm very open more. Now it doesn't come from like I said before, it may not come from where I would want it to come from, but it comes because I'm guided. I let God guide my everyday life. So randomly I'll get a call from my birth mom, sister, which is my aunt, and she'll just randomly just call me and ask, how am I doing? That is my open door. One of my other sisters in my hometown, she'll call me or text me and say, I've been thinking about you. That's my open door. And you know what, Kim, do what I've learned to do is I'll accept that open door, and I'll return the call, or I'll go in with my aunt and say, auntie, we gonna have to go out, because I got to tell you some things about what I'm experiencing in this dating scene, because as I said before, we need each other. And I hope that example is giving some listeners some points and some understanding about things going through their life. It's not where I would want it to come from, but it comes when you, like Mia said, put God first. He will put people in your path but that
Yes,
helps
Lord.
my mental
Mhm.
health journey
Yes.
because
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
need those. I need those interactions. I need that call. And it just was ironic that I'm speaking. Like I said, what I speak the truth. I live. I can testify and live by. So what I was just talking about, that this example real quick about this sister that is not my blood sister, is really has a child by my stepbrother, and what we call each other brothers and sisters, but we're close. And she'll call periodically, and we haven't seen each other. She sent a card for me for my mom's losing of my mom and everything like that. She didn't come to the funeral, but she's still continues to be connected with me. But anyway, I got the text from her. She said, Kim, she said, I was just thinking about you, checking on my girl, how you doing? But make a long story short, I called her back when I know Nina, you were talking about 10, 20 years ago, Kim. I wouldn't have called her back immediately. I would have felt like I'm isolated. I can do this journey by myself. I immediately called her back, and I was telling her about some, the new job situation, and then some other tests that I was going through. And I felt freer because I knew that there was nothing but God
Yes.
intervention helping me go through
Amen.
this journey. So thank
Yeah.
you,
So
Amen.
Nina.
it's not.
It is much
Yeah.
better.
Of
Amen.
course, but it sounds to me like what you guys are saying. Well, first of all, the first thing you're saying is connect with God first before you do absolutely anything. Have God be
Right.
completely involved in your life, but also the connection to other people. The connection to other people. For me, I do the same, but in the morning when I wake up and I open up my eyes, I always think of gratitude, gratefulness. I never get out of bed without being grateful for all the
Yes.
beauty of what God has done in my life or what he's currently
Beautiful.
doing. And
Yes.
if I'm waking up on the wrong side, like in that funky place, I always go, girl, you better think of 3 things you're grateful for because you ain't getting out this bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there is always something to be grateful for. Now, does that mean that none of us go through stuff because God is in control? No, that's not what that means. In fact, God always said that life was not going to be
Mm-mm.
easy. It was not, but that's why he was here, because he has overcome the world, right? So I have like this huge trust in God. And so I remember when somebody read my book and they
Right.
said, "How in the world do you still trust God, or how do you love God?" I said, "Hey," no, she said, how can you love God and be with God?" And so I said, "Could you imagine where I would be without God? If that is my story, right? And you read my story. That's my story. And could you imagine
Mm.
where I would
Right.
be today without God? Can you imagine? I said I would be in a loony bin. I would
Yeah.
probably be committing suicide, or God only knows where I would be, bitter, angry, pissed off at the world, and not doing, because everything would have been everybody's fault and not mine. I said God gave me responsibility to come up and, like you said, Kimberly, earlier,
Amen.
to take responsibility for what is yours, and don't
Yes.
take responsibility for what is not yours. If somebody did something to you and something at you, that is their responsibility. That is not your responsibility. I think that one of the things as women, we have to remember that not everything is our fault. And not everything we have to keep, and we don't have to be a victim of somebody else's bad doing. And we have to make sure that we encourage each other, love one another, and pour into one another, right? So I want to thank you guys so much for coming on today and then pouring on these women the way you have. I'm truly grateful that you guys did that. So I want to wrap it up, but before I do, Mio, I want you to tell us about the event, when it is, if you have that date set already, in for it,
Mhm.
and also what, like how people can follow you and all that kind of stuff. And then same thing, I'm going to go with you, Kim. After me, I want you to jump in and say, where your books, both of you, where your books are, how people can follow you, how they could encourage each other, like encourage one another, and follow you, and like uplift everything that you guys are doing. So Mia, why don't you go ahead and start, and then Kim, you can take it right after her.
So the event I'm hosting is going to be August 13th here in Groton, Connecticut at the Zabersky House. It's Saturday from 10 to 2. And you can also find my book, God's Diamond, on Amazon. If you inbox me also, you can locate me on my website, Exemplify to Edify. You can purchase the book through there. It's connected to the PayPal link, and I have copies at home. That way you can just get them autographed by me. But if not, Amazon. And I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited what's going to happen. We're going to break the atmosphere. We're going to also celebrate Kimberly that day. It's her
Yeah.
birthday weekend. And
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm just excited to see what God's going to do
Yeah. It's
that
my
week.
birthday weekend too. My birthday's the 10th.
Okay. So then we're really
So we're really gonna celebrate. We're really gonna
yes,
celebrate. Kimberly's
yes,
Wi-Fi went down. So Mio, are you I know that you're domestic violence advocate and you're
yes.
inspirational speaking. So are you doing that as well? Like, are you people able to book you for their locations to speak and all of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, I've been working with a woman from Yukon. I don't know if you've seen my documentary she created, but right now it's been placed on hold. But I'm going to become partner with Yukon with their mental health awareness video series for the new hires, and they're
Mm-hmm.
going to use a documentary to show it to them as to what I've been through in my life. I was also working with UConn's Connecticut Sun basketball director of franchise. She contacted me. They did a little mini video of me, so I'm working with them with future projects. I'm with the leadership
Awesome.
program with the Chamber of Commerce. I'm graduating on the 22nd, and I'm working with the Chamber to try to get into some of these organizations like Safe Futures, the women's shelters, things like that, to try to get my book in there so they can either do book clubs or just read the memoir. Hopefully, I'm willing to go and speak. I used to speak in schools, but that stopped. I'm just right now open. I put myself on hold the last 2 years, but I'm slowly coming out of my shell, and I'm just ready. I have a new passion inside, and I'm just ready. If anyone wants to book me, wants to just invite me to a women's event they're having,
Yeah.
exemplify underscore on Instagram, Mio Sorti Santiago on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, and just reach out to me like that.
Well, we have a comment here from Dominique, and she says, "Oh my God, I have to watch the replay. I missed half, I missed the first half." You know what, Dominique? You really need to, because these women are seriously pouring into everyone. And Kimberly's back on, so that's good. And so make sure that you do that, Dominique. And if so, please also share, because it's pretty cool how much these women love to pour into people, and mostly they lift God up. And I just love that. I love that people are not afraid to talk about their faith and who they are and why they do what they do. And that is a very beautiful and empowering thing for me. I love that. So, Kimberly, I don't know if you seem like you're still frozen. So can you hear me, or can you come through? Okay. Yeah. Oh, Kimberly, I'm so sorry. I can't hear you. Um,
Neil, yeah,
there you
freezing
are.
really bad, but you guys, you can tell where I'm at.
We
Okay.
can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay. So what we'll do is I will make sure to link all of Kimberly's information below, so that you guys make sure that you follow her and support her. Kimberly Bell, like
Yes.
I said, is an international speaker. She's a minister and a mentor, and the author of The Epitome of Kimmy, Accept and Embrace It All. And she is on Amazon. I know that for sure. So make sure that you go on there and support her as much as you can, because her Wi-Fi is just not very good right now. So it keeps like knocking her in and out, but that's okay. We're here. We were live. I wanted to show you these amazing women, because for those of you who want to purchase a ticket, make sure that you contact Mio, Exemplify to Edify. What, Mio, give us your email real quick.
Exemplify to edify, the number 1 at gmail.com.
So make sure you go on there if you guys are in Groton, Connecticut, and want to join us on August 13th for this amazing women's event.
Yes.
Tickets are limited, so make sure you jump on that. This is going to
Yes.
be extremely fun. It's going to be impactful. Tia, what did you say here? Thank you, ladies. For turning your tests into your testimonies and keeping God first. Thank you,
That's
Tia.
my
That's
sister-in-law. That's
awesome.
my
Aw.
sister-in-law.
Thank you,
Love you,
Tia.
Tia.
That's awesome. You know, and that I say that to Tia, you know, it's our message to our message, right? Our test into our testimony. It's just knowing who we are and whose we are. Like once you know whose you are, right? Like these things and obstacles and things that come at you, they come at you, but they can't knock you down. I always say I'm bent, not broken, right? Because God is really he's just everything to me as well. I love him so much. He has shown me so much about who I am and all of that. And I think Kimberly, there you are, Kimberly. Are you back on?
Yeah, I could have stayed in the background. I'm good. I'm up here rooting for you all. I know y'all got me.
All right.
Right back there.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh. But I want to
I
thank
love you guys. No, I'm staying in
We
the
love you too. Thank you so
I
much.
do apologize this internet, but I know you guys got me. Mio and Nina, y'all are beautiful. I'm up here. I was in the background
You
going,
too.
yes, yes. I heard about what Tia said. Thank you guys.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Well,
Thank you guys.
I'll call you after this. I'll call you when we hang up.
Okay.
Guys, I want to thank
So
you so
save
much.
a place for me in that chair.
I will.
Right,
Okay.
right. Mio, thank you so much for hosting this event, and thank you for inviting me and Kim to come and be speakers at your event. We're super excited to be there, and it's funny because me and Kim have almost the same birthdays, so we'll be celebrating our birthdays at your event, which is awesome. And Kimberly,
I just want to let you know that the house that I rented, it's literally right on the beach. So after the event, you can go off and venture off and go to the beach.
oh, I love
It's
it.
a beautiful place here in Brighton.
I love it. I love it. Kimberly, thank you so much as well. I know that your internet was in and out and it's driving you a little crazy, but that's okay. We got you covered, and we're going to have the event also that we're going to be able to record and cover. So that'll be fine. And also I'll link everything that I know about all of you down below so that everybody can follow you and share. So I hope that those of you who are watching have enjoyed this episode with these beautiful women. We talked about mental health and self-care and loving God and connecting and all that great stuff. And I want to make sure that you guys are also at a place where we hear you too. So if you have any comments or anything like that, please make sure that you do that. You can also email me at hello@straighttalknosugaradded.com. I was just telling Mio, I'm so excited because I got an email. I'm ranking at the in the top 5% of podcasts to listen to, which is super exciting for someone who started this not knowing what she was doing. So I'm really glad that all of you came on the platform, that you're here with us, and that you're pouring into us, and so that we can pour into you. Thank you guys so much for being here and loving on us like this. Please share, like, subscribe, all that great stuff. You already know the drill. I love you guys. This is Nina Perez, Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. Mwah, 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 mwah. I love you, ladies.
Love you
Until
guys.
next
Love you
time.
guys.
Bye-bye.